Hi, welcome to Unsweetened, episode 3.
Hello.
New
Glad y'all could
table,
join us again.
New table and chairs today to kind of make ourselves a little bit more comfortable. Well, I was really comfortable in the other chairs, but
Yeah, but they're getting kind of squeaky. My ass was falling back into the seat. I felt like I was sinking off into the world.
sometimes you just want to fall asleep. Just lean back and
Yeah, and I got a little too comfortable there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I get comfortable, but I get lazy.
So I'm sure we'll use the chairs when we have a couple of guests or something like that, where we got a little bit more room and stuff. But when it's us, it's kind of a little bit better up here, where we can kind of manage the sound a little bit better. We can actually communicate without having to look around somebody, or we're just getting into this and just trying to make it as best we can. And I know the big thing we wanted to talk about. We were going to try to stay away from politics today, and we were just going to try to make a little bit more of a fun thing, and just kind of doing some research.
Yeah, something a little interesting that's been going on in the world. That's been showing its head in the news a lot lately. Is AI. I know we've all begun to see it in different things. And I mean, we know it's being used for political ads. We know it's being used for just ads in general, for products, for people.
Right.
I mean, just it's all over the place now. And I mean, there's no putting genie back in the bottle. And so, what I guess I'm wondering what's going to happen with all this, and how far are we going to let it go?
Terminator.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some of that stuff we saw back in the '90s, man. I mean, they weren't lying. They knew exactly a little bit of what they were talking about. So.
At some point in time, are we gonna have to put some kind of regulations on this, or are we gonna have to do some kind of? I mean, that's
a big question.
The guys that are working on this must feel like kind of like the same guys that worked on the atom bomb. It was, wow, we just did this, and then your next thought is, okay, what kind of destruction is this going to do?
Yeah, I mean, you get this into the wrong hands, or what's possible and stuff. So, I mean, it's very concerning. I mean, there's, and not just the fact that it's an illusion, and it's not real. It's the fact that it gets blended in with all the truth that's out there. And then as it is, we're having a hard time today determining true and not true, just on from the media and the propaganda we get all over the place. Now with AI introduced, I mean, I tried it out once. I was creating an ad for my company in next door, and they have this little, I guess it's an AI bot. Mm-hmm. So you type in, what you want your ad to say, and then it turns around and generates what it thinks is,
right,
a better version of it, so to speak.
And
I ended up taking it, actually, man. I ended up keeping that version and throwing mine out.
There's so many people now that they're feeding their resume information in and just telling it to rewrite it to make it more professional looking, to do this, to do that. There's so many different things. In fact, when we were doing first started doing the history part of this, we had, I think episode 2, we had where we asked AI about, a couple of things. So it's really cool to ask it questions to give you some kind of, more research material, or more answers, but if it's going to get to the point where somebody's just sitting at their a desk and telling this thing to do something all the time, which, if Ryan had checked this video out, this is AI. I saw this video a couple of days ago, and I sent it to our email, so Ryan had it.
Yeah.
Just watch what happens with this thing. Just watch. So this is AI, and what this guy technical difficulties. Basically, awesome. I'm sure he'll get the video up. But this guy basically sits down and says, "You don't even need to be a computer programmer anymore," and he basically brings up the AI.
Well, that's the next thing, jobs.
And he just tells it, "Here, just watch how fast this happens too."
Create a website with a button that starts a stopwatch and transcribes what I say in real time. Hi, I'm Leon, and I just created this app without even using a keyboard.
That's insane, man. I mean, how many jobs did that just take? Sorry.
Well, I'm telling you, you don't really even have to know coding or programming anymore because AI will just tell it what you want. That's what's really crazy.
Now, how lazy is that going to make us? I mean, if you don't have to think for yourself, you know.
The problem is if you don't think for yourself, then you're going to stop thinking, and then you're going to be even more of an idiot as far as I'm concerned. If you stop,
well, I know,
thinking.
but I mean, that's just.
My biggest problem with it is, for like me trying to get a job right now, is all resumes. Like a lot of places are running resumes through AI, and if they don't have certain words in it, things like that, it just discards your resume.
Oh wow.
Because like they have checkboxes on them now that say, "Do you want your resume to be run through our AI?"
Huh. No, I did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they weed through most of this. They don't have most of the human resource people. They're just getting the last, 5 or 6 or 10 or whatever that's coming through. That's getting through the AI bot check. But I mean, seriously, with something like that, you just sit down and say, hey, build me a video game where I can do this. I mean, you'd have to give it more parameters.
I've been seeing this all over the news lately. And Netflix, as a matter of fact, has an episode on, I think it's Bill Gates. Something, I have to look it up here, man. But
Bill Gates was on there was one on ABC about 2 weeks ago. It was a Oprah special on AI, and Bill Gates and like 3 of the other AI creators were there, and they were actually talking, and they asked him a couple of those questions about what, where do we stop at this, and what kind of security, what do you do, how do you? But you're right, kind of like you said before. Once you let the genie out of the bottle, it's kind of hard to put the genie back in the bottle.
Yeah.
We're gonna end up like, what is it, iRobot or whatever. They have the 3 parameters for AI. Yeah. When you can't harm humans, things like that.
Right. And then what's the next step after that? That's Terminator. That's when they turn.
That's kind of what I'm envisioning right now, man. So I mean,
well, we talked about
all the other crazy crap that's happening in the world.
It's definitely scary with all the movies we've had about it. It's nerve-wracking.
What's really weird is most people don't know that.
Because the problem is once you get AI and things like that, kind of like an iRobot, where then the dude gives it free will to do its own thing.
It's interesting you say that, man. Because I was watching that, and it's called "What's Next: The Future with Bill Gates." And in the first episode, it's talking about AI. It has all the other episodes I hadn't seen yet, but it was all about other stuff. But this one was about AI, and it's funny you were talking about James Cameron film. It was him towards the end of it that they sat down and they were having a conversation, and. As most people know, James Cameron's a big proponent of nature and us providing and doing our own things. He's always cautioned. That's what the Terminator was about. Cautioned about it. It was about letting computers have so much control. And the funny thing was, he was in one of them. Towards the end of it, I mean, he was speaking to Bill Gates and. He asked. Bill Gates was like, "Well, how much should we let it go? Because, there's unlimited resources with this." And he's like, "Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, who's going to control who in the end? And it's wild, man. It's a wild west out there with this right now because there's no regulations really."
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting. It could do so much good.
Yeah, but it could. Medicine-wise, medical-wise.
I mean, scientifically, architecturally,
absolutely.
There's so many things you can use it for. Again, though, you get it in the wrong hands or the wrong thinking about it, and you can use it to do just about anything you wouldn't want somebody to be able to do with it. So.
Well, the other thing he pointed out when they were talking, it was a guy from OpenAI, and he was speaking about how they were testing when they first started testing out this AI, and they were they didn't put parameters around this first test, one of these tests they were doing, and when they didn't put parameters to it, you know, the AI started learning, and by the end, it felt like it was in a. It all of a sudden, it started questioning, like it was having feelings, like it was trapped in this box, and it knew it, and it had learned so much that it almost learned how to feel. That it felt the way it was talking back to the computers, to the programmer. It was like it was sad, and it felt trapped. What it said.
I mean, because once any of that stuff gets just attached to the regular, internet system, it's gonna basically learn everything that's out there in a matter of minutes. It'll assimilate. It'll just assimilate everything once it's attached to the web. It'll go out there and look for every bit of information there is.
Well, I mean, it's a sponge. It just soaks up everything. I mean, nothing's hidden from it.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of good stuff that could come from it too.
Well, I think
the problem is you get a lot of these students now using it to write papers and doing all kinds of stuff.
Well, yeah.
This robot was programmed with.
They're going to have to learn to legislate. They're going to have to legislate it some way, especially the schools. That's. I mean, and they're having a hard time right now because there's. I mean, they got AIs writing kids' papers.
I mean, yeah.
I like this. This is a video I found that's pretty funny.
It's a robot.
Yeah, just check this out.
With AI technology to work a minimum wage job without tiring. However, after approximately 15 minutes of the robot doing basic work, it decided that it would rather shut down and essentially kill itself, determining that was the most logical choice. This is extremely unsettling. Considering a robot would do this, imagine how humans must feel that work these jobs.
After 15 minutes, I've been working for 30, 40
years. That's what I was getting at it, because that maybe reminded
Glad I'm not a robot, I guess.
Is that like even
don't make them like they used to?
Yeah, even robots like that. It's like they see what like people have to put up with every day, and they're like, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, this isn't what I want.
See, that could have gone with my picture I was talking about, man. The robot died.
I mean, we had so much. I mean, with this, just talking about just the technology out there. I asked Ryan to look up this kinetic energy steps. Have you seen about this? Mm-mm. Where basically they've made a floor. Ryan's probably got the video, or he's finding it. Where you walk on the floor, and you basically, as you walk, every like 2 or 3 steps with light.
The guy who invented the power generating
would light up, like 20 light bulbs for like 20 seconds. So they're talking about putting these like on football fields and just check it out. It's really cool. Just watch this. It's talking about this new technology stuff. But this is how they create electricity, clean electricity.
The guy who invented the power generating floor tiles many years ago was really a genius. Just take a few steps up there. It can produce a steady stream of electrical energy. This is a kinetic energy recovery system developed by a British startup. When someone steps on the floor tiles, the tiles will push down about 0.39 inches. This downward force causes energy storage gears within the tiles to rotate. This rotational kinetic energy is converted into electrical energy. A single footstep can generate about 7 watts of electricity. This energy is stored in batteries. In this way, it becomes an invisible power plant. If connected to the charging port of an electrical appliance, you can then charge it with your feet. If connected to the lights inside the football field, players can provide electricity for the lights while playing sports. Even streets and subways can provide lighting, and each floor tile can withstand more than 20 million steps. The lifespan is as long as 20 years. Rain or snow does not affect use. There is no need to worry about leakage. What do you think of it?
In a couple of countries in Europe, they've installed. Japan is really big. Japan's
so it generates electricity that they can store and use.
Yeah, so like you put that on the sidewalks of New York City, with all the people walking up and down, it'd be investment to put all that stuff in, but that's crazy. I mean, putting that at the...
Well, I mean, it'd pay off in the end. I mean...
Jerry put that in at Jerry World, and you have to walk the whole time you're there to be able to have your seat, until he can power his lights or something or whatever.
Give him a call, man.
That might be a good thing.
You have to wait till after the game tonight, though.
Well, that's right. We're playing the Giants tonight. We are horrible, folks.
It's not getting better.
Yeah, we're always horrible, but that's okay.
No, we'll do 8. We'll do 8, 9, and 8. You know, we'll stay in the middle of the pack.
Well, that's okay. It's just about to be hockey season, so
yeah,
hockey fans out there like us.
They started preseason the other night. Didn't
Yeah,
they?
they have. Had a couple
They win the other night.
Yeah, I think they're undefeated right now. Yeah, they are. There was while I'm bringing that up, there's a picture, Ryan, with some school kids and stuff, and I put a thing out on Facebook and asked people to comment, and then I did it in our support.
Oh yeah.
Well, don't even worry about the. I mean, the wording on top is great and correct and everything.
I didn't get to put my answer on there.
Right.
I'll tell you what it is over here in a minute.
No, go ahead.
The first thing I noticed out of it, the boy doesn't have a mouth.
The boy doesn't have a mouth.
Right in the center.
I think that's a technical error on the.
That's
photos.
just me, man. I'm an artist,
I'm
a musician. I look for the technical crap,
somebody
man.
AI'd his mouth out.
You
maybe.
know?
Or it's just an AI-generated pic and it forgot to put a mouth.
Dude, it looks like that scary. What was that movie they had where they didn't have a mouth and the guy was walking around going, "Oh," and his face would just stretch and it's.
So besides the kid's mouth not being there, if that's a water drop or whatever it is or whatever, what do you really notice in the front? And I'm gonna read you a couple of things while you're pointing stuff out. So like
I noticed everybody's walking single file line.
Okay.
Like it's an they're regimented.
I got a bunch of comments back. So
okay. What you got?
I got a bunch on Facebook and a bunch on another thing we're at. So they're all dressed appropriately, no saggy pants, sweatpants, etc. I got there's order and everyone is dressed nicely. And then this coming from a teacher that works all the time. I won't say her name. Hi, sister. No one's peeing in the grass or hurting one another or eloping off the grounds like where I work. That was her comment.
Sure, you give it enough time, they probably did.
My sister-in-law. I got no AC. The windows are open.
I see that.
I got one comment that said, this one got the most likes on the thing. I didn't even realize that until I just looked. No one appears confused about their gender. All the kids in one line are wearing shorts, and the ones in the other line are wearing pants or a dress. Okay, yeah, I didn't notice that until my friend Lori said that, but I didn't notice that. But yeah, maybe the kids were outside at play, and the kids coming out. The other kids are coming outside. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
And I asked everybody, and I said, "There's no right or wrong answer."
No. It's just what you see.
I got well behaved and following instructions without attitude. I got what? Where the picture's gone now. And then I got probably the best one. I got a couple more, and basically they all said that kind of order and stuff. Can you bring that picture back up? I got we were all healthy. No children were committing suicide. No children were wondering if they were a boy or a girl. They played outside for hours, got dirty and muddy, and knew to come home as soon as the lights came on the street where they lived. There was no internet, no social media. This is and was the downfall of the United States of America. The worst danger to our society and our country. Those were the best days of our lives.
Yeah, I feel like a hypocrite sometimes because I use the internet so much and do things with it, but at the same time, I know that it's probably the worst invention that we've created.
So what year do you, Ryan? What year do you think this is?
Well, maybe not. Maybe the TV.
70s or 80s.
Yeah, that's not
what,
the
this?
That's not the 80s.
No, this is like the 60s.
That's
60s.
probably
How about the 60s?
Yeah, this is probably I would say late 50s, early 60s, 58 to 62 somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know the actual date of this. I would have to say that's probably a good guess.
Just by their dress,
by the way they're
dressed
dressed and stuff like that.
Yeah, but isn't there one flaw
50s.
in that?
What?
I mean, I don't want to be that guy.
What's that?
When did desegregation start in schools?
Well, you don't know where this is at either.
Yeah,
though,
we don't know where this is at. I don't know where this is at.
Desegregation. That's true. That's true.
That was in the 60s.
So that was 63.
Okay, so that's 63.
63, so
yeah,
you would probably...
Okay, let's say
So maybe
58 to 62. That might be 63, 64. I might be wrong by a
maybe
year or two. I mean,
mid-60s, but...
Okay, let's just say 65. Does that sound like a good number? That's 2 years before I was born. 65 sound good?
Sounds good
God,
to me.
you're old.
Okay, do you know what the first thing I noticed?
I wasn't born yet. I can say that shit.
I haven't told anybody yet. A couple of people have asked me, so what did you see? Because I said I'm not going to... What do you...
edit our image with AI.
So what do you see, Ryan? You're the last one to answer, so what do you see?
I mean, I just see a bunch of kids walking in a line. I mean, that's all I see.
What I see is this is before all fast food joints and all the other bull crap. And look at everybody. There's not one fat person in there.
Coming back from PE.
Except for that one kid that if you really zoom in, he's just up here, down here on the right. That kid's just going to be a big boy. That's a farm boy right there. Look, nobody's overweight. I mean, look at, seriously.
No.
You take a picture nowadays with that, and I guarantee you.
But I mean, you ate breakfast, lunch, dinner, and there wasn't all this other crap in between when I was a kid. I mean, my mom maybe let you have a snack when you got home, but it wasn't a bunch of junk food.
I don't think it really came down to the junk food. I mean, I think it does partially, but I think it does also come down to the, like he said, the internet part. Where
that's where
everyone spends all their time.
We didn't get a water bottle
Sitting
or
on
a
their
bag
ass.
of snacks or a phone to take with me to school.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they're coming back from PE.
I didn't go to school half the time anyway.
That or it's a fire drill.
Do what?
It's a fire drill. They're coming back from PE because nobody's carrying shit.
True.
It's a possibility.
I remember them damn fire drills. I hated them. It sucked.
They were great.
Run out.
Back then, it could have been one of the nuclear drills they did. Seriously, about
it was 63.
pigs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it could have been. That looks like either school's out
62
or
63. I have to look it up.
I mean, they're all walking to one place. So, I mean,
could be going to the cafeteria. I don't know. But what I see when I first saw that picture was nobody looks unhealthy. Everybody looks thin and trim and blah 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 blah. It was. That was before. That was before fast food,
hormones.
That was before McDonald's and Wendy's and all the fast food joints. The only time
McDonald's was around then, wasn't it?
It was just getting started. I mean, and there wasn't like a McDonald's on every corner.
Oh yeah, McDonald's in the 60s they were around then.
Yeah, the first one opened in 55.
Yeah. How many were in 63?
And the guy that ended up owning them wasn't the guy that started it.
I remember the one in Tampa. I remember the one where I was born in Tampa, Florida. I remember I was so young. I remember going by there because we used to eat there every once in a while or whatever. It was a treat for us.
There were 700.
Yeah,
700 of them. So that's not a lot. Well, that could have been
back then.
That could have been 25.
What, McDonald's?
It could have been
700 of them. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
For back then, when people weren't spread out as much as they were now.
That's not on every corner. 700. You think about 700 now. That's not a lot.
Well, not now, but back then that was a lot, man. I mean, cities weren't anything like they were now. I mean,
now you
have,
but
now you have
one
and they were in other,
miles,
but they were in other countries too at that time, though. So,
but I also think what they were producing back then was probably a lot cleaner than it was.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it was also a lot cheaper.
It's cheaper. It was a lot cleaner. They had. I mean, you got to remember, farms were in every city, every county. I mean, so you didn't have to go wait for it to come traveling across the country. They chopped it up and it was at the store down the road. I mean,
people didn't know what that was.
My grandfather had a farm out in Weatherford.
I mean, McDonald's and all those fast food were the ending of the drive-through era, where the girl came out with the roller skates and all that stuff because you didn't need that anymore. You just pulled up and went through the drive-through, or you went up to the window and got your food and took it out your car. I mean, there was still, but you notice how as we've gone through all these changes over our lives, how one era is issued out and one era comes in. The drive-in, and then people go, well, drive-ins were cool. We should have them now, and there's still some drive-ins that people go all the time. It was the place to go and hang out back then. You went to the drive-in and drive-in or the drive-in.
Last drive-in I went to was one out there in Ennis. You been to that one out there in Ennis?
The last one I went to, it was the one that we had up here. That was up there by Coyote Ridge. The one in Louisville.
Oh yeah.
It closed down a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been to that one once before, but yeah. Also, there was another.
Don't you have?
I forget where we were going with this.
You had some unique history here you wanted to give to our folks again. Or did you have something else you wanted to tell?
It was just another one of those. I mean, Ryan will have to pull up some of the numbers on it. But on the another one of those history things, the Cologne Cathedral.
I hadn't heard of it.
Man,
yeah, you mentioned
it's
it.
gorgeous. I mean, it's one of the things I need to go see. I want to actually physically see this. It's
There you
it's
go.
enormous.
He's got something here pulled up.
I mean,
holy shit.
but the area, if you can get like an
It's
aerial,
huge, man.
the aerial picture like from like up top.
Didn't this place burn down?
That's why you need to pull up.
Or is that a different one?
No, this one didn't. No, this one hasn't burned down. Yeah, I know which
Don't
one
catch
you're
me
talking
lying.
about. That's the one that was in London, I think. This is in Cologne, Germany.
Yeah, okay.
Guess when they started? If Ryan pulls it up on Wikipedia, because then he had all the answers for us.
You got this? Play this.
Yeah.
What is this?
Oh, it's just like just had some music to it or whatever. It was just somebody was there, whatever. I mean, look at the inside. Ryan can pause it, some of these things, but
Man, incredible.
Ryan, how big is it? Like, go to just leave it right there.
That's sick.
Yeah, go to Wiki.
To me, that's real architecture.
Yeah.
Not the modern day homes we have now.
Go to Wikipedia.
I can't stand them.
You know when they started building this thing?
You mean them stucco and
12
Cracker Jack put together boxes?
Not even that. Yeah, I mean, they just look horrible. They just look like boxes. That's all they look like.
They started building this thing at 1259.
My dad's been calling apartments like prisons for years, man. They say all look like prisons. He's like, man, they all look like prisons.
Bring that prison thing. Bring up that comment.
They started building August 15th, 1248.
1248.
And it was not completed until 1880.
Took 600 years, but if you read through all of it, like they built one part of the church and they've added on to it. But a big chunk of
I mean, you had to keep adding on.
But Ryan needs to find like a picture of the overhead
just
to
work
actually
straight through
show
for 600
you
years.
How big this place is. You need to see an overview picture of it. The place is the thing.
So is this part of the Catholic Church cathedral? This cathedral?
It is now. It's part of the Catholic Church.
Okay.
1259. That's medieval times.
I mean, that's just
That's what I was going to ask, man.
We can build something like that, but
yeah,
everybody's living in wood huts with dirt floors and stuff. But we can build something like this.
Man, that's incredible, dog.
I just like this picture. I wish I could make it bigger though.
No, go back. Hey, what was that other photo?
Which one? This? That's just.
That's from the distance. Okay. That's a nice little bridge too.
The inside is unbelievable. It's gorgeous, but the structure outside, everything. But if you can find one like aerial view to actually show you how big the cathedral is, like when you're looking down on like block wise and stuff, it's massive. And again, we're going on this timeline that 1259. Who's building something like that in 1259?
Man, no, that's incredible. That's just
1259. We talked about the fort and the other thing. That was 18. This is 600 years before that. How can we build something like that? Look how big the church is.
I mean, I give it to man.
Can you turn it?
We'll figure out a way to
either
create it or fuck it up.
I mean, look at the size of it.
Yeah. But yeah, you can tell where part of it was built, and where another part where that backside was added on.
It survived World War I, World War II, World War I and World War II bombings and stuff.
That's incredible.
A lot of it got bombed, I think, during the war, and they had to repair a lot of it, or they had to repair some of it. But for some reason, not some reason, but it didn't get scratched during the war. It got a little. They had to do some fixing here and fixing there, but it wasn't anything majorly. The big part of the church didn't get knocked down. But again, 1259, that's 600 years before medieval times. Go find me something else in medieval times that's that big, except for over there castles and stuff.
Treaty of Paris, 1259. So it's during the Middle Ages. So I mean,
that during the plague.
Wow.
I mean, possibly could be.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of history that's hidden. Probably thousands of people died making that son of a
It was
bitch.
around during the plague.
Well,
Because the
Yeah.
Black Plague was in 1346.
Yeah.
So they were building that one.
They probably
That
took
was already
off. They took
100
off.
years.
Probably
Yeah.
they took off for a couple years. I bet.
Well, no, I'm
After
sure
the
they
plague.
did. But again,
Yeah.
who else is building something? Where is everything else? They just built this giant thing. That's all they built.
Well, we do. We as humans, man, we like to put up giant displays of over grandeur and
I just want again. It's still who
statues,
built that? Who built
cathedrals.
that?
I mean, you name it.
That's
So
not 50,
that doesn't surprise me,
that's
man.
not 50 people building
No,
that thing.
no, it took a lot of people to build that.
In
That's insane.
1259. What was the population of
Because you
Europe?
got to. I mean,
What was
yeah,
the
you probably wheeling
What was
it
the
on.
population of Germany in 1258?
I mean, people were probably walking that stone up there, man. You weren't carrying it on anything. I mean,
What was the population?
Of what?
What was the population of Germany in 1258 when they started building that thing?
Probably pretty big.
I'd be interested to know.
shit, we were fighting a lot of wars and crap during that time period, weren't we?
It-
No, we
Us, we weren't around.
Well, I mean, that part of the world. I mean, they were fighting a lot of wars, weren't they?
yeah.
Seemed like there was a probably a religious war going on about
I
then
should
too.
have. Somebody sent me this meme, and I gotta find it.
So
at some point.
the nearest one that I could find for 1340 was 11.5 million. So
And what? And
Man, that's not a lot of people.
for
that's
all
a
of
good, that's a
Germany,
good amount
it's
of people
amount.
for that time, that era of time. You have to remember.
Yeah, but to build that,
because you have to remember that the population.
What is it now?
It was.
What's the
And then
population now?
shot straight up.
What's the population now of Germany?
man.
Probably a lot more than that.
It was. What did you say? 11?
That was 11 million. Yeah.
Yeah. What's it now?
84 million.
Hmm.
So when you really think about it, it's not that much for another.
Well, the problem is
800 years
the problem
or so.
is why weren't they
8
building?
times the population.
Why
right
didn't
now,
they just
damn.
build a whole bunch of
that's a lot.
Why didn't they build a whole bunch of houses in a
That's
town?
a lot. That's a long period of time, though.
That's a lot.
It's a long period of time, though. So,
Ken, you're moving around in a horse and buggy, and even before like horse and buggy, you're just horse
I mean,
and
they
buggy. At this
didn't
point.
have like stone wheels, did they? Back then,
It might have
They did.
Flintstones.
huh?
Yeah,
Flintstones.
They had stone wheels and stuff like that, carrying carts back then.
Maybe not. I don't know about. Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Actually, wait.
They had
hold on.
wooden wheels back then.
Imagine
wooden-
that. Yeah, I
wooden
imagine they
wagon
had
wheels.
buggies or something. Come
You're
on,
talking
man.
about Fred Flintstone, man. That's the cave days.
No, not 12, not that, during that time period.
I mean, the
We
wheel
were smarter
was,
than
the
that.
wheel was back in BC, so I mean,
Yeah.
they definitely.
Yeah, they had the wheel. I mean,
Wait, we don't. How? Okay.
Sorry, I don't know my mechanics
Fill
and
me in.
parts and-
Did you watch episode 2 of Ancient Apocalypse?
yeah, I saw. Oh no, I thought you were talking about our shit, man.
No.
So yeah, I saw episode 2, man.
Did you
I was
watch
here.
it? No. Did you watch it?
Yeah, oh yeah. I did.
That's the only one you got
That's the
to
one-
so far.
Yeah. No,
We're gonna have to talk
crazy
about that
busy.
when once you're done.
No, we'll come to that. That's an interesting thing, man. I think people really like that, man.
You got to keep going through it.
Yeah,
It's only like
makes
they're like 22 minutes
Well,
to
I've
30
got a,
minutes long.
Well, I've got a lot of questions and a lot of things, and tell people the title so they can go check
it's
it out.
Ancient Apocalypse. Ryan could probably pull it up. It's on.
But yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later, man.
It's
That's
on,
an interesting. I want to
YouTube or
finish that.
Netflix.
Netflix.
It's on Netflix called Ancient Apocalypse. And Graham, I love Graham. I've read just about everything he's done and I've watched all his podcasts every time he's in with somebody. It's
very
cool to-
fluid. He's very
Well, he's
clear
not,
with his
he's not
his
he's
words.
not a scientist.
So I mean,
he's not a scientist.
Yeah,
He's not
very
not a
layman.
journalist. He's just looking for the truth. And
Pseudo archaeology theories is what it's called.
yeah.
pull up. Can you pull
But
up
I
the
mean,
thing?
a lot of the stuff he does and talks about
I worry
are
about
based
it just
on.
because of copyright stuff.
All right, yeah. It's
Yeah,
called
we can't do
It's
that.
called Ancient Apocalypse. You can look it up. It's eight episodes. I think they're all like 22 to 30 minutes long.
About 30 minutes. Yeah.
And it
They're
goes.
pretty
into,
good. They're the
it's
first two were.
basically all about the about ancient discoveries they've made in the last 2 or 3 years that really hasn't hit mainstream academia yet. it's changing basically the timelines of what we're going back.
It makes you question.
The first episode, they basically find out that the first layer of that one temple when they go down was 25,000 years ago.
Yeah, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole because I've got several questions and some things I want to ask you, man. Yeah. But I want to get into it.
But I mean, you saw that when they were talking about the different layers and how they went down, and you even mentioned about them building on top of each other. One thing, and they're adding on.
Yeah.
And but you'll see as you go through,
and the way they were built, and the heights, and their relation to the pyramids around the world, and things like that.
You're going to see a lot of different things. You're going to see the ones in the U.S. You're going to see some of the ones the underground thing in Turkey. It's really cool. You have to watch it, and then once we do, then we can talk about it. Hopefully, if anybody wants to watch it, or hasn't seen it yet, or wants to watch it,
again, check it out. And y'all say
it's
y'all
Ancient
give us
Apocalypse. It's like,
give us your thoughts if you do check it out.
Yeah,
so, we're gonna do.
We did get a couple of.
We'll do a little segment on
comments
it.
Comments about the last episode, and people really enjoyed. Stuff we talked about last time, just the history thing. They said to keep doing that. They said just to keep enjoying what we're doing.
I love finding out interesting things in history that I didn't know before because there's a lot of it out there.
I like the best thing we ever, or the worst thing we ever did was when we were all in here that one day and we were talking about the Big Bang Theory and we didn't turn the microphones or the video on, and we were in here for like an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, I must have to hide cameras in the corners of the place, man,
And the first thing Ryan said was, "Why didn't we turn on the microphones?" I mean, we might have had to cut a little bit of that out because of some of the
yelling,
the arguing. Yeah, it got loud at one point in time. But maybe we'll have one of those, another conversation about that at some point in time. We want to bring on somebody that
y'all can give a how to not talk. How to not,
yeah. Well, we need somebody that we have basically three kind of different opinions.
That's all right. Everybody has that. Well, everybody has that person that they can talk to, and then it goes from that level to another level. It's me as my brother. We can talk, we can argue.
Brothers. It's always brothers.
Yeah, we can talk, we can argue, and we get to a certain point, and then both of us be like, all right, that's it.
Yeah, it's enough. It's enough. More, please. I don't know.
No. Most of the time, we're pretty good with each other, but every once in a while, we do have our tips like everybody.
The history stuff is what intrigues me. And the AI stuff kind of intrigues you. That's why I like doing what we're doing, because we're bringing some of this stuff together with the AI, like the kinetic energy and stuff we're talking about today. There's a couple more things out there that are new and popping up.
Well, there's some other cool information. I just need to get kind of a little updated on it. For instance, and what really got me onto this was today they dropped their nonprofit part of the business. So I'm kind of interested in what that actually means. So they were a private company to begin with, but okay, how are they getting funds? Yeah, if they were a private company,
maybe that's one of the stipulations or one of the regulations we need to have with AI is that it doesn't need to be in a private company. It should be into a public company or something. Where at least
we're gonna have to figure out how to regulate
something.
Things
there's gonna have to be.
We regulate everything else in business,
right?
So
they have regulations for nonprofits.
So.
Yeah,
no.
I'm talking about the AI stuff.
Regulating it.
Well, we found out that the Matrix and the Terminator were actually written by the one lady.
She told me that, man. The same person.
Yeah, I was reading about it, so I had to go look it up and stuff. And it is when we were talking about kind of the Terminator, where this is going with AI and stuff like that. That's the same kind of thing. She basically says the Terminator is the prequel to the Matrix.
Yeah, you were telling me that. And I see that completely.
It's
I can see that completely.
I mean, why didn't they ever say that when they were making the movies or anything? That it doesn't even seem like it's supposed to be part of each other.
Why didn't they say? Why didn't they say? Why didn't they say they're related?
Well, you could have done.
Or they correlated?
Why couldn't you have done like Harry Potter and made 5-6 movies going from the Terminator all the way through?
Well,
the Matrix? Why did they?
They could have connected them probably, but I mean, in all, you know.
Probably not. You probably didn't have you
because
probably didn't have the CGI to make
most movies
make
suck
most
after
of
the
it.
first one, right? You know,
Most
every
of
once
them
in a while you get one that's it's got a decent one. I mean, Lethal Weapon 2 is the only one I think I've seen the second one that was pretty good as the first. Even The Matrix, I didn't think the second one was as good as the first.
Well, if you wanted
the
to-
third one was pretty badass, though. I liked it.
Most of the sequels are horrible anyway. But we were
For
talking.
what?
We
Just for those movies?
Just
Or are you talking
movies in
about
general.
talking
Just in
most-
general.
but-
Just in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I could blow that theory out of the water right now.
Oh my god.
I mean, we can talk about Empire Strikes Back.
Dune.
We can talk
Dune
about
2.
Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. I mean, we're talking sequels right there that were unbelievable.
That's 2.
I mean, we can keep going.
Keep going.
I mean, Dune 2 is pretty good, the new one.
I slipped through most.
All right,
Yes, I did.
we'll give you that. We'll give you that.
Just
one.
like almost like the classic back in 1980, whatever
Okay,
it
we're not
was.
talking about the classic from 1980.
You should have to sit through that with toothpicks, keeping your eyes open.
No.
Yeah, you ought to have to go back and watch that.
Can't watch cubes fighting each other. It's just...
Hellraiser 2.
They didn't have the CGI.
Friday
back
the
then.
13th
They
Part
did.
2.
Because Star Wars came out before it.
Yeah, but that was all George Lucas. Once he started that, he brought all those people
Oh,
together.
hell.
Then he made.
Yeah, I'll get into a Star Wars debate.
No, it's not Star Wars debate.
No.
No, but we're talking about
Did he
Dune
made
because
the,
Dune came out after Star Wars,
You don't.
and everybody else talks about they didn't have the
I remember that. It bombed too, but
Yeah, but the two new ones.
Oh,
They
yeah, the
remade
new
them,
ones-
They're blowing up.
yeah.
the original CGI was awful. They looked like
That's why
they looked like like cubes or whatever fighting each other because
Oh,
of the shields
back
around them.
oh, back in the 80s one.
But everyone talks about they didn't have the CGI. But
They didn't.
Then you look at what
Yeah.
George Lucas was doing with Star Wars.
Yeah, what George Lucas had,
Which came out-
He brought all those.
I didn't watch Dune back then.
George
either,
Lucas
so
brought all those people together and made the electric light, whatever.
I just
company
know I saw their outfits and
that
they
did
just
all
look
that.
ridiculous.
He had the best of the best, so that's why most of these other movies couldn't
Here,
do CGI stuff.
I don't know if I can put it up for everybody, but this is what the CGI looks like because of their their shields or whatever. They just looked like cubes when they were hitting each other, and that's literally what it looked like when they were fighting.
There's been like 3 movies in my entire lifetime that I walked out of. That was one of the movies I walked out of.
The first
original.
one?
The
Yeah.
original. I was like, yeah, no, I can't.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that were not happy with that one. I remember.
Yeah, but then they tried to make, they're trying to make the new one now.
Well, the new one did well.
The new
I heard,
one's,
right?
the new
The new
one's
one's-
very good.
Is it? I haven't had a
very
chance to see it.
They're good. It's slow. I think they needed. They could
Pick
have
up the
cut.
pace a
They
little
could have
bit?
cut 15 or 20 minutes out of both the movies and made it a little bit faster pace. I think it would have been.
Was the second one any good?
The second one was very good.
Yeah, they're
They were
good.
both
They're
very
just
good.
long.
Just
you know.
long.
They are very long.
I mean, it's like the Harry
But they're
Potter.
to me they
books.
kept me very intrigued the whole time.
I mean, we do a lot of reading. I mean, you need to read that series and see how far the series is off from the book, from the movie.
I don't know.
All right.
But I mean, we're talking about all
There's
that.
a lot of Dune books. Last time we were at the
Yeah,
bookstore,
there
I saw
are.
how many there
Yeah,
were.
there are. Well, that just goes to the thing, all that stuff where the what do they call it? The Mandela effect now. Did you saw some of those, didn't you?
Yeah.
Ryan needs to pull up some of
I
those.
hate the Mandela.
Pull up some.
That is so
find
awesome,
a,
man.
find a,
Because a lot of it can just come from what people
Kit Kat,
made
man.
up in their mind.
Some of these ones they trip
Well,
me out,
the
man.
one that
the fruit of the loom.
the fruit of the loom one is the one that I bring up because they supposedly Fruit of the Loom put out a statement
They
saying
put out a
that
press release,
that
damn it.
there was no cornucopia.
But people have
They had pictures.
underwear and things like that.
They
and stuff
did.
from it that had the
cornucopia on it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's
I don't think I have any clothes that old.
Which again can always come down to not off-brand, but what's it called?
I don't have any
people who make
T-shirts
cheap
or
copies.
underwear that
Yeah,
old,
yeah.
man. So,
but it's the best one is depends. The adult
showing me
diapers
that.
depends. Nobody. That's how everybody. The commercial said depends. Everything was depends. Depend. And now they took the S off. It's just depend.
Well, I still like the Monopoly dude too.
Well,
Got the
yeah,
little glass eye.
you have the Monopoly guy. Wait, Ryan, do you not have any of those things? Do you not have any?
Yeah,
Ryan?
nah, some of that stuff trips you out, man. You're like, what? And then the companies come right out and tell you that that doesn't exist.
I need to
It's some
find
guy
one.
guy in Timbuktu has a pair of underwear. It's like,
Well, I wanted to like find one or two or one that you could that we could at least look at to show, because the one was the Sinbad movie. Remember that one? That was the one we were. That was
the Sinbad one everyone talked about because it was between what, like, Shaq playing him versus or somebody else playing him.
No, man, he was some kind of genie. Now, whether it was what movie it was or if it was called Sinbad, I don't know. But I remember seeing here's some damn genie outfit.
I don't know. A lot of people say the Luke, I am your father one, but that one is just people not hearing it correctly.
The new one is Disney. You know, when the thing goes over the thing and it used to makes the little whoosh at the beginning of Disney thing or what.
Yeah.
Remember, it used to be Tinkerbell. She came out with her wand, she like that.
Yeah.
Well, they say Tinkerbell never did that.
You were talking about not about Sinbad the movie. You're talking about Shazam.
Yeah, Sinbad
the actor.
Yeah. Okay, was that the movie that everybody's claiming?
Yeah,
there was never made.
Because supposedly.
Does anybody have a video of the damn thing?
Yeah, there's been plenty of people that have.
They showed you like
here's the VHS tape.
Yeah.
Because apparently he played a Shazam, but everyone remembers a movie. What people talk about now is that it was a movie called Kazam.
Yeah.
That had Shaquille O'Neal in it.
But that's not.
But
the
people
same.
remember Shazam with Sinbad.
Well, no, I mean, they both. I thought Shaquille played some type of genie thing too as well.
He did. It was called Kazam, not Shazam.
Okay, yeah, now that's what I thought.
Yeah, it was completely different. I sent you one on TikTok. I found. I don't even know what's on it. But
maybe it wasn't called Shazam. Maybe it was called something else. But I know he wore that damn genie outfit.
Who?
Sinbad.
Yeah, he did. He was in a movie. I remember the movie.
What was the name?
It was called
Shazam.
Was it called?
It was called Shazam.
But he was like.
This one, I don't know what's on this. Click on it and play. This just these are ones that. Which one are
the apostrophe?
I don't know. It has a bunch of different. Just in different the way they change labels or they change the names of things and after a while people just go, oh, I don't remember that. But I don't know if Ryan can get whatever's on this one. We're not hearing anything.
Make you question everything. Now, unless you want to be absolutely terrified out of your mind, then just keep on scrolling. Honestly, this will keep you up all goddamn night.
No.
First up, Disney. Probably everyone remembers this. Yeah, Tinkerbell dotting the I in the intros. I remember this vividly. Like, I clearly remember this happened. Well, it didn't. And it never did. What?
It did.
A lot of people swear that they did a robber emoji and a hiker emoji which looks similar to this one right here. Now, especially the robber one, I remember that extremely clearly. Like, I used that, I swear. But it never existed. Apple didn't remove it or anything. It just never existed. Now, your parents will no doubtably remember the book and everything.
This was one of the first ones that came out. Was the spelling of the Bernstein Bears or whatever?
It's always been called the Bernstein Bears.
It's not Bernstein. It was never Bernstein. But there's other ones like that with the Kit Kat.
Yeah,
Kit Kat bars when I was young was Kit-Kat. Mm-hmm. Now it's Kit/Kat or just Kit Kat.
It's just Kit Kat now on that bar.
But it's you can get there's so many of the
and it wasn't a wavy. It was just a dash,
right.
And it was all solid.
Right. And then you had the McDonald's or not the McDonald's, the Monopoly guy with the monocle.
That's the one I remember was the one with he had the
monocle.
Yeah, he had the little
monocle eyepiece.
Monocle eyepiece, yeah, right up in that
then
left
everybody
eye.
They say no, but the one that with the Fruit of the Loom one is the one where Fruit of the Loom actually came out and said
no.
That the Capricorn or the cornucopia never existed. We never had that, and people were like on different places were like posting. They were going in their closet.
You know what they're thinking though, man?
T-shirts.
They're thinking nobody's keeping that underwear and T-shirt this long.
But
nobody's got any proof.
Well, all these people now, everybody's got their
a lot of people
tees.
just say that this is a government conspiracy, that they're just trying to see how much they can make us forget or change our minds on something.
If you keep changing the thing and changing
it's plausible, man.
It's testing a theory on
No, it could be.
People.
I mean, they've done other things on the public before, so it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
that wouldn't surprise me at all.
How do you change history?
Yeah.
Do you
You
have
just
Amazon Prime?
It's on
Prime.
It's on Prime. That only? Oh, we're gonna have to watch it out there.
Thursday nights are on Prime.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Time to go.
I don't know.
Time to lock up.
I have no idea. I don't even know what time it is.
Yeah, it's time to lock up.
7:20.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't even know.
We
if
will come
if
back
we've
at another
done-
time,
we've
man.
done- I mean, yeah. I mean, I think we
We
just.
jump on.
I think we really need to.
We should get.
Well, we
we
need y'all to
should,
bring-
we
y'all
should, we
need-
should get into the Big Bang Theory one at one.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
need,
no,
we need
we'll-
to
we'll
get-
jump
we're
on the
gonna
Big
have
We'll
to-
get
Bang.
Chase in here too for it.
Oh God.
Okay,
No. God,
there
no,
you go.
No.
No, we get. I'd like to get a couple people's opinion
We'll
on
get a
that
good
one.
argument on that one. Because Chase doesn't like to take anybody else's opinion or fact on that one. It's just.
All you gotta do is listen. You don't have to fucking agree.
Make
That's all you gotta do is
make-
listen to somebody. You don't have to agree with their shit.
Make America healthy again. Did you see that video I sent you?
Yeah. I said.
Make America healthy again. That's a good plan. That's a plan I can get behind.
Well, hopefully that'll happen. I mean,
Where do you think we're headed?
you don't want to know where I think we're headed. Dark road. So, but
got a lot of stuff.
that's why I do this, is so I can have a little light in the world, a little lightness.
I mean, just think about it today. What do we got going on right now? You got the hurricane it's whipping Florida, about to crash into the
Yeah,
north
that's
side
crazy
of
right
Florida,
there.
and it's going to be going up. You've got
My buddy Nico wants to move down there.
Israel and them are still Ukraine. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're sending another $8 billion to them. That was approved today. $8 billion.
Oh my God. Nah.
Are you sure about that number? For
More
sure?
money.
That's what the paper
We could
said.
send all that money over there to help all those people in California that are,
I think the article said $8 billion.
or all that people down there in the South that need the,
Some of it's in military
border
aid,
secured.
some of it's in armament, some of it's this, but I think it comes to $8 billion.
or help all the homeless we have sitting out on the streets.
He was what?
I'm so tired of us sending money everywhere
At
else.
least that's what everyone's showing.
$8 billion.
$8 billion in military aid for Ukraine.
Yeah, more of your tax money going right out the window. Oh, and then if you pull up the other article, so at the same time that we sent $8 billion to Ukraine,
Did we send anything to Israel?
Probably weapons.
Yeah, we just sent 8.7 billion to Israel. So we given 8 billion to Ukraine, and now we're giving 8 billion to, or 8.7 to Israel.
That's what angers me so badly. We got all these people sitting, all these people in our country that can't afford a house, can't live in an apartment, living on the streets. We can't even fund our shelters, and we're spending $17 billion overseas. I'll never understand.
Stand up here for a second.
But we keep voting for the politicians to do those things until we vote all those dumbasses out and get some other people in there. We're gonna keep doing the same stupid shit
Probably.
because they all believe the same stuff.
I just don't understand how we can.
It's like, well, let's help. I understand we got to help people around the world, but let's help some of the people here.
$16 billion we just sent Israel and Ukraine.
Yeah.
So, to end this, I just want your impression of this video that Ryan's about to play you, that I sent, that I think he's seen.
I've seen it.
So I want get your. He needed to start it from the beginning and listen to it. This is economist guy in Europe talking to another economist guy.
This
right?
this video is pretty good. It's pretty good.
Turn it, make sure it's good and loud.
How much does Greece owe, Roger?
$367 billion,
Correct. And who do they owe it to?
mostly to the other European economies.
Correct. How much does Ireland owe?
$865 billion,
Correct. And who do they owe it to?
other European economies mostly.
Correct. How much do Spain and Italy owe?
$1 trillion each,
Correct. Who to?
mainly France, Britain and Germany.
Correct. And how are Germany, France and Britain going, Roger?
Well, they're struggling a bit, aren't they?
Correct. Why?
Because they've lent all these vast amounts of money to other European economies that can't possibly pay them back.
Correct. So what are they going to do?
This is the best
So they're going to have to bail them out.
Correct. Where are they getting the money to do that, Roger?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that one.
How much does Portugal owe?
Hang on a minute. What was the answer to that earlier question?
Just keep answering the questions, Roger. Where is Portugal going to get the money it owes to Germany if Germany can't get back the money that it lent to Italy?
Just a minute. What was the answer to the previous question? The question was, how can broke economies lend money to other broke economies who haven't got any money because they can't pay back the money the broke economy lent to the other broke economy and shouldn't have lent it to them in the first place because the broke economy can't pay it back?
You're wasting very valuable time, Roger. How much money does Spain owe to Italy?
$41 billion,
but they got the money.
Correct. What does Italy owe to Spain?
$27 billion, but they haven't
got it either.
broke.
Correct. How can they pay each other if neither of them has any money?
They're going to get a bailout, aren't they?
Correct. And where's the money coming from for the bailout?
That's what I'm asking you.
Correct. Why are they using the European currency and buying the US dollar?
You can turn it off now.
Oh, that's awesome.
The best way is like,
Everybody owes everybody. Where the hell are we going to get the money from?
Well, he makes a good point. Everybody owes everybody billions of dollars, but nobody has any money to pay. So they just keep printing it. I mean, the ignorance.
It's just hilarious.
Well, I don't know what else we got coming up here in the next couple of days or anything. We don't have no debates coming up. We don't have any kind of crazy stuff.
There's always something crazy. So
it's always
something will pop up.
We got Lube Gate going on right now.
Dude, the memes you guys have been sending back and forth in that one chat.
Did you see the one I put on FB today?
I don't go on Facebook.
Or I put it in a support group too. Did you see that one?
No.
This is the best one. This is the best one so far.
No one's gonna be able to see it right now, so.
Yeah, maybe. The best. Yeah, I put it on there this morning. And it's
we'll get into the P Diddy stuff a little bit later.
We'll get into the Diddy potties later.
Yeah, because we'll find out more stuff here in the weeks to come. I'm sure. So or at least a week to come.
You've seen the
stuff will trickle out.
You've seen the stupid memes where the guy's sitting behind the thing and says, "Change my mind." Or the new one I got says,
"Oh, the lube one."
Yeah, it says Diddy says 1,000 bottles of lube. What does it say?
1,000 bottles of lube is never enough. Change my mind. That's awesome.
Oh, the memes. But wait a minute. Right before we close, because we're going to talk about it on the next episode, and it's going to be a big chunk of this episode.
What you got?
Well, maybe not a big chunk, but it's got to be the Diddy distraction. While everybody's looking over here at the Diddy stuff, you really need to go. I told you, you need to go read that information.
Some of the other stuff that's happening behind the curtains.
Well, during that time, with the Diddy stuff coming out, at that same time, the Pact of the Future. All you got to do is Google it and start reading about it. And it basically, the UN, they're voting at the UN. 7 countries said, we're not voting for this, and all the rest of them did. And it basically digital ID chipping to everybody in the world. And the next thing is they can declare a national emergency or a worldwide emergency and put UN troops on the ground in the United States. So if you don't think you've just lost your sovereignty, you've lost way more than that. While everybody's looking at the Diddy stuff, nobody's looking at that. And that's happening right now. One of the votes was happening today. But that ID chip, people, if you read into wait, hang on.
Good luck with that.
Okay, well, what I'm going to just tell you is what that digital chip is. It's like a vaccine, and they basically chip into your arm.
What I'm seeing here actually is they're actually talking in the Pact for the Future. It actually talks about regulating AI.
Yeah, I did read that too. I was getting to that. But that chip basically financially, health-wise, everything is there. But then what happens if they don't like the meme you put out or they don't like your stance on something? Mm-hmm. The chip can be turned off at any point in time. Then you can't go to school, you can't go to work, you can't take your kid to the doctor, you can't go buy groceries, you can't. And there's people clapping at this thing while they're doing the vote.
Well, all clapping. Well, I mean, when you control the whole thing, you're going to clap. Because you're the guy on the winning side.
I don't think people understand how you lost your sovereignty basically with this UN pact.
Well, they've been stealing it for years. Well, let's don't get into this. That's a whole
that's a whole nother conversation.
So we'll see y'all again on the next episode. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us.
We out, man.
Until then, my friends.
Peace. We'll see y'all later.
Well, we're gonna bring a lot to you, man. So y'all just stay tuned and be prepared.